Hello to all my friends out there in San Antonio. I bet by now you've probably seen enough of this wintry color with snow and ice that you've had to suffer through. But I want to share with you another story, a story for the springtime. And just as the spring is underneath the winter snows, just so my story is inside this piece of paper. But I'm going to have to bring it out, spring it out, if you will. So in order to do that, I'm going to fold my piece of paper in half one way and fold it in half again another way. And I'm going to need to use my scissors to cut it out. In the springtime, when the winter thaw has happened and the waters of winter have nurtured the soil, up springs the fresh green grass. And there's the green blades of grass waving in the spring breeze. At that time of year, I like to go out into the yard to see what I can see, because the green grass always has interesting little creatures inside of it. One year, I went out into the grass in my lawn, and I started looking for a friend, somebody to play with. I thought maybe I could find a little animal friend out there in the grass, so I pushed back the blades of grass, and I saw a snail crawling slowly along in his shell. I thought, maybe he could be my friend. Will you be my friend? But you know what that snail did? He pulled up inside his shell and he hid from me. So I kept looking. Oh, I saw some ants busily working. The ants were marching two by two, hurrah, hurrah. But they were too busy to stop and be my friend. So I kept looking. Uh-oh, I saw a grasshopper hop away. He had somewhere to go, couldn't stop to be my friend. And then, on a green growing leaf, I saw a little caterpillar. The caterpillar was crawling along, and he wasn't running from me or hiding from me, and he didn't seem to be too busy. He was munching on a little green leaf. I said, "Would you be my friend?" I held my hand out for him, and the caterpillar crawled on to my hand. He was going to be my friend. So I brought him inside my house, and I showed him around my room and all of my house, and my mom gave me a jar that he could live in. So I put him in the jar, and then it was time for lunch. Well, I had a sandwich, but my caterpillar didn't like sandwiches. There was something else that he liked to eat. And when I thought about it, I remembered that when I saw that caterpillar, he was eating green leaves from the yard. So I thought I'd better go out and get him some lunch too. So I went out into the yard, and there I found some green leaves to give to him. So I took some green leaves from the yard, and I brought them in and I put them into the jar, and my caterpillar munched on them, made a loud munching noise. He went, excuse you. He munched and he munched. He was so hungry, I decided I'd better go out and get that caterpillar some more leaves to munch. So I got some more leaves, and I brought them into the jar, and every day I had that caterpillar with me as my friend, and I gave him leaves for lunch. And he munched, and he munched, and he lunched, and he lunched. And one day when I brought him some leaves to feed him, he wasn't munching. He wasn't lunching. He wasn't moving. He was all covered over with something that kind of looked like white sticky webs. I thought, oh no, what happened to my caterpillar? I bet you can guess. My mommy told me he was changing. He was in a chrysalis, and he was going to turn into a beautiful butterfly. Oh, that made me kind of sad, because, well, if he was a butterfly, he couldn't stay with me in my house in my jar. He'd have to go fly away. And I didn't want him to go far away. So I thought, caterpillars like to eat leaves, but butterflies like flowers. Maybe if I planted some flowers for my butterfly, he wouldn't fly far away, but just would stay nearby. So I got some seeds, and I planted them in my garden. And I watched them, and I watered them, and I waited, and I took good care of those seeds, and sure enough, it was springtime after all, and life was springing from the soil, and so my seeds began to spring too, and soon they bloomed into beautiful, bright spring flowers. Tall stems with their own little leaves and their bright open blooms. That was lovely. Now I hope maybe my butterfly friend would stay. And sure enough, you know, when those flowers bloomed, my caterpillar bloomed too. He had gone through a change. He had grown into a beautiful, broad-winged butterfly. He flew up out of my jar, out of my house, and I was afraid he was going to fly away. Wait! But the caterpillar stopped. The butterfly stopped. He turned and he saw, look, I planted a butterfly garden just for you. And my butterfly came back, and he stayed with the flowers. And I was happy to have kept my friend. You know, if you take good care of your friends, they'll stick around. But I learned something else too, because shortly after that butterfly stayed in my garden, another butterfly came to play too. Because you see, if you're a good friend to one friend, it won't be long before you have more new friends. And I hope that we have been able to be good friends together too. I am sending everyone out there some little paper butterflies just like this that you can put on your finger and flutter around. But look, my butterflies are still all white like winter. I hope maybe you can color yours in with the bright colors of spring and let your butterflies find pretty, colorful flowers of their own. Thank you for being my butterfly friends.